America needs to shake things up. It's beginning to get stale having the same issues always brought up but never changed. Clean power through the use of thorium as nuclear energy would benefit everyone, not only now, but over the future generations of America. The opioid epidemic has ravaged our streets for a decade. The decriminalization of drugs has shown a correlation to less drug use and less drug overdose. The students in our country are often caught at a rock and a hard place, as they feel they have no one to openly talk to about their issues. We need to be providing them with more resources to improve their mental health. Puerto Rico has to pay taxes to the American government, the same American government they have no votes and no representation. Puerto Rico's statehood would allow their people to enjoy the American liberties they deserve. Fossil fuels are causing immense amounts of pollution but are used because they are cheap and highly efficient. Nuclear energy has a stigma of being dangerous, inefficient, and difficult to harness. The use of thorium would make the process of harnessing nuclear power much safer and easier. Thorium is much more abundant and easier to obtain than uranium. The byproducts of thorium reactors are also much safer, as they are less radioactive and cannot be used to produce nuclear warheads, leading to an easier disposal. Along with this, very little can be done to stop a uranium reactor's meltdown, whereas thorium reactors can remove the plutonium from the reaction, stopping any heat production and avoiding a.
One problem the U.S. faces is the number of students and kids that report feeling stressed or depressed because of school. 80% of students reported feeling stressed about school, and 34% reported being depressed because of the immense weight and pressure on their shoulders at such a young age. Our solution is to decrease the amount of work that students receive while outside of school, because students feel that all their time goes to school and that they have hours and hours of homework for each class, leading to stress and panic attacks. Second, I will bring recess back, or a 45-minute break for all grades. This will allow students to go outside and exercise for a little bit, which has been proven to help with mental health. Lastly, I want to move the starting time for schools back by 1 hour. This will allow students to get more sleep, which will help them lower their stress levels and panic levels. Another problem the U.S. faces is the increased use of drugs. Drugs are a rising problem in the U.S. with over 60,000 overdoses in 2018. Our plan is to use decriminalization of drugs, which has been proven by other countries that have implemented this new policy to be an effective way in lowering the overdose rate and number of users. It also helps decrease the number of HIV and AIDS cases. In Portugal, they allowed the drug users to see counselors and doctors that help them face their drug addiction and problems, and the number of overdoses dropped from 80 to just 16 in 10 years. With the decriminalization of drugs, many addicts can now come out and find help that they need. They no longer have to fear going to jail and can safely get the help that they need to quit. Many addicts feel that if they seek help, they will be charged for possession of or drug use and will be put in jail. But with the decriminalization of drugs, they can feel safe to come out about their addiction and seek help. Puerto Ricans pay nearly every form of taxes from the federal government aside from the standard federal income tax. They are not allowed to vote in national elections and have no representation in Congress. This is taxation without representation and goes against why the Revolutionary War was fought and the foundation of this country. They are also treated as second-class citizens and often get left out and forgotten by the U.S. government. In 2017, Puerto Rico was hit by the worst hurricane it had ever seen, but received very little relief and support money to rebuild, while all of the resources went to Florida and the East Coast. Our solution is to make Puerto Rico a state, which will allow the people to have a say in their government and take part in voting. It also allows Puerto Rico to get the humanitarian support that they need and allow them to rebuild after a natural disaster.
Vote for the Purple Party because we want what you want. We will make this country better for our students and youth by helping them with their mental health, by putting less pressure on their shoulders at such a young age, which often overwhelms them. We also want to decrease the amount of pollution the U.S. creates by using safer and reusable energy. Third, we want to reverse the effects of the opioid epidemic created in the 1980s by helping those who are hooked to overcome their addictions. Last, we want to give everyone equal treatment and not neglect or ignore others in need. Thank you for your time and hope to see you at the next election.